Good morning. I am your host, Brujo underscore Anthony 87. Woo woo. Coming to you live from my bedroom in East Los Angeles in Southern California. I am a Brujo, Sandismo Muerta devotee, tarot card reader, intuitive empath, glamour witch, and healer. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok all under the same name. On Instagram, I do them daily. On weekly, I do them on YouTube, and on Facebook, I do them once a month on every full moon. This is going to be a different video, only because I had someone message me the other day. I commented on a post of a friend of mine from high school that whenever she was doing contouring, it didn't look right. It looked like something was just on her face. I was like, I'll make a video for you. So here's to all who are kind of concerned. This is a different video. This, on this channel, I just do with spirituality and just silly things. So I'm gonna switch it up, and I mean, I know there's a lot of video tutorials on how to contour, especially from famous makeup artists, but I'm your local source. I did, I'll talk around a little bit about my background with makeup. Teeth are really white today. Using a new mouthwash. I like it. So, anywho, um, I'm really impressed. So, I am a makeup artist. I've been certified. You could see my little plaques right over there. And I've been a makeup artist for about 6 years. I went to the April Love Pro Makeup Academy over in the city of San Gabriel. It's off of Las Tunas and Charlotte. And I graduated from there, top of my class. Um, and I got to help out for a little bit for LA Fashion Week. Mind you, that work always got in the way, which always pissed me off. Like, I could have gone to New York Fashion Week, but it is what it is. Hopefully, I'll get the chance to do that soon. But yeah, I helped out for a little bit of Fashion Week. I've been on various sets for a couple of music videos. I've been on some fashion shows. I've done some photo shoots, mostly stuff like that. Oh, I've done that for events like helping out apply makeup for the members who are part of the Sisters of in Perpetual Indulgence. They're a nonprofit LGBTQ plus community based charity group that help out for HIV and AIDS and whatnot. So that's my quick background in makeup. Then I also worked for Macy's for about I want to say 5 years. I keep on losing track of the time. So roughly for 5 years I was working for Macy's at Impulse Beauty in Montebello. Hashtag to all of you guys. Love you and miss you. So I don't work there anymore. But I've learned a lot of things upon my experience within the beauty industry regarding makeup and products. I got trained in Impulse Beauty. Is kind of, if you guys don't know what Impulse Beauty is within Macy's, it's kind of like the Sephora of Macy's, and they had like they have a bunch of different different makeup lines within one section. So our trainings were usually very extensive. Now they're just kind of half-assed, to be honest with you. But I mean, I haven't been to a training in a long time. But it's usually the same shit anyway. They're just, to introduce new products. That's the one that I'm looking for. I always look forward to, but not there anymore. Anywho, so to come back to the reason why I'm making those videos, I had someone that post. So without further ado, I'm gonna do, just for the sake of products use, I'll do just the foundation and everything. I won't get into eye makeup too much. I'll go into like what I would kind of do my everyday um, makeup, but with actually using foundation. Normally, I just wear a tinted moisturizer or a BB cream. Just essentially the same thing. This is coming out like shards. So I'm already moisturized. I'm gonna use this. This is a primer. This is the Pore Filler by NYX. Another one that's comparable to it, if you want to spend a little bit more money, would be the Smashbox Pore Filler primer. With this, you have to warm it up and then press and roll, starting from the center of the face and outward. And this helps portify. This is good for combination skin and even people who are have oily skin as well. And you'll know when you have, I mean, if you have oily skin, still moisturize. Use a good moisturizer, gel based or gel based, not anything too creamy or too heavy. So very light moisturizer. It has SPF, the more the better. And then you could go ahead and with the primer. If you have combination skin, I'm going to recommend this. I love Smash. I'm going to recommend. I'm going to be saying a lot of Smashbox stuff because I really love their line. But their photo finish primer, their classic one, is very good for combination skin and pretty much all skin types. Um, Dry skin, you're going to get either the primerizer, which is a primer and a moisturizer in one because it has hyaluronic acid. Another good primer would be, they have a hydrating one, I believe. I had to look up their whole line again. But that's another good one if you have dry skin. Or even their primer oil is really good too. So I got my primer on. Some people start with concealer. I'm just going to go straight into, for the sake of the video, I'm going to wear foundation. This one is the Smashbox Studio Skin Full Coverage 24-Hour Foundation. This is the color 2.12, and it has a neutral undertone. Finding your actual skin tone, that is a little tricky right now, only because with COVID. So they won't try, you won't be able to try it in store. But as a general rule of thumb, um, it's a general neutral undertones that's going to work best for you because they kind of fit. They're kind of the in between color. So I'm going to get this brush. This is the full coverage foundation brush from Smashbox as well. And starting at the nose and outward, you're going to. Now, when it comes to, this is a full coverage foundation, by the way. I normally don't wear this, like I mentioned. So in order to get full coverage, the maximum, the best use out of your foundation and how the application and how opaque you wanted to get it, you're going to pounce and press and pounce, press and pounce. When you do this, it's going to fade it off a little bit more quicker. This, for the sake of the video, I'm doing a little bit of both. So here I'm pressing into the skin, getting into my chin, below my nose, around my beard. You could put some on the eyelids as well, just to help get that skin tone all over, even it out. Okay, and then I'm just going to take a little bit, whatever's left on it, onto my ears. And down, a little down the neck. Kind of don't need more, but I'm just going to put just a dab on it. A little bit does go a long way. So don't use a whole lot. And I know I look pale as fuck right now, but You're gonna see, I'm gonna show you how you could kind of adjust that. And now that it's already pressed into my skin, I'm just gonna blend. Light circular motions. Don't have too much of a heavy hand. If you do have a heavy hand, I'm gonna suggest getting a beauty blender, the original one. To me, that works best. I've tried some other ones, and they just don't have the same kind of um, density. It's more easier to work with the original one than like knockoffs, to be honest with you. Okay, so I got that down. Like I said, for the sake of the video, I'm going to be wearing some concealer. This one is from Wet n Wild. It's the Megaless Incognito All Day Full Coverage Concealer. This is in the shade Medium Neutral. Now, this is for if you have really big pigmentation, like a birthmark or something, you're going to want to use something a little bit more for coverage, more like of a cream concealer. This one's liquid. So I'm just going to put a little bit underneath there. Like I said, a little bit goes a long way. You do down the center of the nose, in the middle of the forehead. You could put some around here too. I see why not. Around underneath the eyebrow. You could put underneath the cheekbones too, but I normally do that with powder. And press this in the center outward. You might actually need a foundation brush. A concealer brush for this, but for me this works just as well. In this part, you want to blend upward because you don't want to drag the color down. You want the color to go up and blend and not get muddy. This part, I'm just using the tip part where it that acute angle comes through. So I'm using that edge of it. Okay. So like I said, I know I look really light as fuck. um, so I'm going to get this powder. For me, this works out in evening out the skin tone. This is the All Nighter Waterproof Setting Powder from Urban Decay. And this really does hold in your shit all day. Normally, I don't go within a setting spray. What? No shedding spray? To me, it just doesn't make sense. So for this, I'm going to start from the middle outward. Loading it up with the same brush. You could also do this with the Beauty Blender, the round end, not the pointed end for this, or the side. You can put this on the eyelid as well. And it just helps neutralize the skin tone, making it even, making it matte. Now you don't have to use it all around, but I do. If you're a combination, you probably only want to do it like around your T-zone and just leave the rest alone. If you have really dry skin underneath the eyes, make sure not to get this too close to the eye. You want to get at least a little bit where that orbital bone of your eye socket is. And just powder there. Because normally people who are dry are usually dry around the perimeter or around the eye area. Or the parts where the skin tissue is the thinnest. So you want to avoid that. And if you're dry, just, you know, don't really powder at all. Your makeup foundation usually will set in itself. Like this one has a matte finish when it dries down, so you really don't have to powder as much. And I'm going to try to get more of a good focus right there. Sorry if this has been a little blurry. Using natural daylight, natural sunlight. Okay, so we got our powder down. Now off to the contouring. I'm going to be using this, again, Smashbox. This one is the contour palette. This is like the basic color one. So I'm going to be using their fan brush. This is the contour color, this is the bronzer, and this is the matte highlight. When you're trying to find a contour color, try to find something that is in taupe. Let's see. If you see the natural shadows on my face right here, you can tell that they're cool tone, not a warm tone. Even around here, it's cool tone, right? Well, it's like it's what we call a tone. It's a tone. Toners are usually made with black, white, and a different hue. So I'm gonna get this. Now this really depends on the shape of your face. So you're gonna apply where the shadow falls. A good way to get this is to stand in front of a natural source of light. So I have my window out here. And I usually just start around the cheekbone. So the center of this earlobe, this right here, an imaginary line going all the way to the corner of your mouth and stopping halfway where the corner of your eye. This would be where you apply that. And I'm going to start from the outer perimeter and strike and blend outward the brush bristles. And I'm going to picture there's a number 8 on its side. Now when you want the gradient effect of any kind of color, where you put the color first is going to be the most impactful, the most pigmentation of that product. It's going to be strong. And then I'm tilting it upside down to make it further blend upward and then downward and then like that. So you can really see there's that dimensional look right there. I'm going to continue that on the other cheekbone. Now if you have a heavy hand, I'll recommend, if you do have a heavy hand, I'm going to recommend this brush because it's something that you can build up. You know, it's so hard to take something off when it's so strong and bold. It's hard to take away others versus something that's built up and translucent. Now I'm going to do the temples of my head, the temple and the outside perimeter. I have a pretty big wide forehead, decent size, I guess. And I'm just going to do that part. Okay. Now, if you have a oval head, you're going to want to do the upper part of it because you want to shrink, make it look smaller. And for this sake, I'll just do a little bit around my beard. I kind of don't have to for this part because my beard is my chin contour. Now for the nose. I normally don't do nose contouring during the day. But let me get a brush really quick. I really don't have a smaller brush. I need smaller brushes again. But for the sake of this video, I need more like of a round blending brush for this part, which I kind of don't have. It's being used in the meantime. So I'll use this flat. It looks like I forget the name of this brush. This one's a brush from Walmart. But this is what I guess what you call like a concealer brush. And Now, this really depends on your nose shape. The contour color, tap off the excess. So around here would be my shadow, right there. You can kind of see it right there. And you're going to the bottom, drag the color all the way up into the eyebrow. Drag that color to the side, the other side. You can kind of see there. Now, if you have like a really round tip like I do, you're gonna get that color. Imagine that line still going all the way straight down seamlessly. You kind of bring it down to the tip a little bit more inward like that. As you can see, it's already giving my nose shape instead of this being this big round motherfucking ball right here. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Up to the eyebrow right over here. The bridge of the bridge of your forehead and your nose meet. You can do it right here too. So I'm noticing there's like a natural shadow within there as well. And still continuing that line. You see, it's already made my nose slimmer. You do underneath as well. Blend outward, a little bit inward. You could do underneath the chin if you want to. One of my teachers, mentors at the school called this a dick nose. I'm gonna get a little bit in the eyebrow too. So you see already, there's that shape. And like I said, I normally don't contour the nose at all. So, anywho, bronzer. This is going to go above and over the contour to give color. You can use this as contour a little bit and as a blush if you wanted to. And it's going to still be in the number 8 kind of shape when it comes to brush strokes. The perimeter. Around the jawline. And at this point, you could kind of go a little bit over the whole face if you feel like your foundation is too light. This kind of warms it up a little bit. Make sure not to put too much or else you go fucking orange. You can do on the sides of the nose as well. Okay, that's that. Blush. Now, I really don't have a blush on me, but I have these pigmented eyeshadows. This is from the Electric palette. I'm using a very little bit of that pink, which is called Savage. And again, over and above everything that you did for contouring and bronzer and go in the shape of a number 8. Like that. And you could kind of draw this around everywhere too. Gives you that healthy, warm glow. And it kind of adjusts that kind of like orangey, dark. It starts to neutralize. It makes its own, adjusts to your skin tone. Now, just for the sake, I'm going to get this brush again. And I'm going to go over where I put that concealer with the matte highlight over here. I really need a new palette. And this is called the triangle of light. Right here, right here, and right here. This draws focus to the face. Now there's 2 styles of contouring that is known. It's either as a big number 3 or a capital E, which is called what my teachers called the punk kind of contouring, because it's very bold and angular, but it still looks the same when you blend everything out. So it doesn't really matter. Sometimes I use both methods, and depending if I feel like I'm having like wider or bigger features, it really depends now. There you go, that's that. And I'm going to get this powder again just to help blend in and neutralize together everything under my skin tone. You can use a powder foundation for this as well, but this is just what I'm using. I normally don't use things that have a lot of pigment in it when it comes to most of my pigment is going to be, most of your pigment is going to be from your liquid foundation or your powder foundation. So it already has pigment, so that's why I have a translucent powder here. However, if you are going to go out throughout the day or you have like an event and you want to touch up, that's when your powder foundation is going to kick in. Okay. That's help you retouch just in case your foundation starts to separate with and that's the deal. It's gonna be something you have to retouch. It's not permanent, so there is no that's the only solution to keep up your makeup to make it last long. Is you're gonna have to do some touch-ups because we produce oil, and our sebum usually degrades like the waxes and the powders and the oils that is within a lot of cosmetics. So naturally you're gonna have to retouch. That's the reality of it. And retouching it using a setting powder. These, like this is an NYX one. They work and then they don't work. I have a complicated relationship with setting sprays. You could use those to extend the life just by like a fraction, but for me, I sweat anyway. I'm a guy, I'm a little heavy. For me, there's no point in doing it. So I just, retouch with powder. So I'm gonna leave it as that when it comes to foundation. Brows. I use this one. This one's for Benefit. Shout out to Benefit. The Foolproof Powder. This is number 3. It's kind of like their universal kind of brow color. And a brush, I'm going to use this one's from Anastasia. This is the number 14 brush. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The 7B. So just as you see it on this little shape right here, this is where you're gonna put this color on this side, and then this side, this color on that. And just going to go really quickly because I'm not sure. For this part, you're going to go with the natural way that your brows grow. I like this brush because it's skinny enough for you to really get in there, and it also could be chubby. And powders will, I like powders the best when it comes to brows. You have to kind of have a brow for this part, for this kind of particular product. Um, you could use water with this, and it will help intensify the pigmentation within this powder, just like you would with like an eyeshadow. But if you have very sparse brow or no brows at all, I would recommend for you a pomade like from Anastasia or Smashbox. Benefit. Those are my two favorite. And my ex has one. Inglot, I believe, has some. Those are some really good ones. I like the Benefit one, but that one seems to dry up faster than the other ones that I've noticed. But I love, in general, I love for brow products, Benefit. And powders are really forgiving compared to wax and creams because they're more softer, and you can definitely build up the pigmentation of this if you really wanted to go in there. Now if you want just a really soft brow like that, and like that, this has a spoolie. And I'm gonna go in with a brow pencil. This one is it's called Your Glam. I actually got this at Daiso. It's like a Japanese 99-cent store. And I believe it's like $1.99 or something like that. It's really good. I like this brow pencil. Another one I like is the NYX Micro Brow pencil too. And this one's a detailing pencil, so you already kind of have to have a foundation of product on like I do. For me, this works the best when combination with this brow powder. And I'm going to use it to kind of define it more and to fill in gaps where I couldn't with the brush. And that will happen often with products like brow powder. So I'm gonna do, I like a very defined arch and tail. So sometimes getting underneath the hairs is going to really help, and then over it, it's gonna help get that area underneath and make sure you get that filament. Right here, I'm gonna go with the strokes of my brow. Where I have growth in the natural direction that it goes in. Now, if you use this all over just with this every day, it's not gonna last long. So that's why I'm only saying use it in places where you need it at. Okay. There's a little spot right there. And then for this part, I kind of like to press and roll, press and roll, press and roll. And then you could kind of drag it around like that. So that's pretty much how I do my eyebrow. I'm going to fill in just a little bit more right over here. So that's how I do my eyebrow. I'm going to quickly do the other eyebrow. Let's see, this is almost going to be a 40-minute video, and I don't have enough time to do that. I forgot I already have product on there. Just had to do this really quick. Now, if you're not that good in drawing brows, within the Benefit brow line, I would recommend their foolproof pencil. If you don't have like a lot of time on your hand, but you need a little something and you're always on the rush, I'm gonna recommend their is it Cabral? Oh no, it's called Gimme Brow. Gimme Brow. For this part, you'll start right there, and then on the side of the pencil, that's where you're gonna get these little hair-like strokes with this pencil. You also use the Brow Wiz from Anastasia, or any kind of similar detail brow pencil, and there's many makeup companies that sell these kind of pencils. This is a retractable one. Okay. Well, that's pretty much my basic look right there. Sometimes I do like to use this as a eyeliner. You can use any eyeliner. For the sake of this video, I'll use a eyeshadow primer. This is the Smashbox 24-hour photo finish shadow primer, and this feels very similar to the one the primer I put on for the face. And again, I'm wearing on the back of my hand, and pressing and rolling, patting that on over the entire eyelid. Eye primer is primer in general, eye or face is very important. Of course, if you're using like a tinted moisturizer, then you don't have to worry about that. And you're just gonna like for this to kind of dry up. Start with this. I need my little mirror, I'm sorry. I like using this because it's blends in naturally with my eyelashes without looking too harsh. Unless it's like a specific look that I'm doing, then I'll use black or another kind of weird color. I don't know. Let me see it. It enhances that lash line. That's why I like using this. Sure you get close to that lash line as possible. Okay. For eyeshadow, I don't do a whole lot if it's just an everyday. There's some brushes I just don't use often. Sometimes I'll just even wear a stain on my eyelids thought I had up here, but apparently I don't. I look in here real quick. My backpack from when I was out on a gig. Huh. Well, I don't, but anywho, that's okay. There's alternatives. I'm gonna use the same color I used as a blush. I guess we'll do a monochromatic look. And I'm just gonna go over each eyelid. And I said this has lots of pigmentation. I'm just using a Q-tip. I'm just gonna go over this now. I don't want too bold of a color. I mean, this is pretty bold as it is very pigmented, but if you wanted it to pack on that color, you're going to use some kind of different brush for that job. It's what they call like a paddle brush. It's usually kind of like a half of a circle kind of shape when it comes to the brush of our eyeshadows. That one's really good, but just for, use what you have and think outside the box. And I'm just blending this outward from the eyelid and outward. You want like a windshield wiping motion when it comes to blending eyeshadows. Like a wash. I call this like a wash of color. Okay. Well, that's what I do. And then I'm gonna get this palette. This one's the Cover Shot Prism Eye Palette from Smashbox. And I'm gonna get this color called Astronaut. Cute name. And I'm just gonna get my ring finger right here. And I'm gonna put this around the brow bone. This is where I was talking about, like your eyeshadow kind of is like you're contouring your eyes. Sometimes I just bring it downward too. And then I'm gonna use the same color for the lips. I'm just gonna go right over that. And I'm done. So I'm gonna get started on my day. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, just let me know, or if you need recommendation for some products, let me know and tell you what to get. Or if you are living in another state and you don't have like a lot of stuff and you're in the middle of nowhere, just let me know, message me, and I could ship it to you. You just pay me for the expenses for it. So take care, be safe, be kind to yourself, and be kind towards each other, and have a great day and have a great week. Mucho amor. Take care.